Look, I promised to be the unity president, and I'm delivering, all right?
Whatever.
As long as you get your vaccination, and you wear your mask, and you voted for me, and you don't live in one of those red states, we're good to go. Everybody else, I'm beginning to lose my patience, okay? So unity, everybody. It's on the money. E pluribus unum. You know what that means. Do everything I say.
Well, hello, kiddies. It's your friendly neighborhood watchman with you today to immerse our toes briefly into politics with this article about the Democrats' fearless leader, the big guy himself, Joe Biden. Seems he went off on another make-believe story, real in his own mind, no doubt. This as he is in Hawaii, surveying the horrendous damage done to our fellow Americans over there in Maui, unprecedented in the history of the Hawaiian Islands. So after being silent over these tragic events for a while now, he decides to speak up, or his handlers decide he has to speak up. I'm sure they didn't bargain on him telling these fables of his. Ha! Sucks to be you.
Look. Everybody has got to take it easy, all right? Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive.
So we'll get started with this article from the New York Post with the heading, Joe Antoinette Biden lies to survivors, makes it all about himself in Hawaii. There's the fearless leader himself, touching a burnt-out car. No doubt, so you can say he got his hands dirty. Last week, when President Biden announced his trip to Maui, the Post asked, how much do you want to bet he will act inappropriately to family members and try to make it all about himself? Well, if there was anyone dumb enough to take that bet, it's time to pay up. Even by Joe's low standards, this trip was a debacle. Our tone-deaf commander-in-chief, maybe your commander-in-chief, but not mine, takes off from the Lake Tahoe home of a Democratic donor, does a flyby of the island, then turns around to go back on vacation. Mission accomplished. That sounds like our Joe. While on the ground, Biden points at some burned-out buildings, stiffly shakes hands with some first responders, and puts on a facial expression that's meant to convey serious, when it more resembles rigor mortis.
Oh, that's cold.
The Biden team sets up a presidential lectern in the middle of the rubble, which is bad enough, but they also brought along a tiny little table to set his water on. Gotta make sure Joe Antoinette Biden doesn't get thirsty. Guess we should be grateful they didn't bring a teleprompter.
And what makes his wild claims and hopes, he now hopes we don't notice what he said or won't remember. And when he does follow through, or doesn't do, when follow through, the exact opposite.
Which is why he stared at his speech the entire time. Then Biden decides the best way to show Hawaii that he cares is to lie. Again, he recounted the harrowing moment firefighters had to, quote, run into the flames, end quote, of his home to save his wife, Dr. Jill. Oh, he think he looks cool with them shades he's always sporting.
Stay on target.
This never happened. This never happened. For years, Biden has turned a minor kitchen blaze into the Great Chicago Fire. Even after the Delaware Department he praises says it was, quote, insignificant, end quote. The press tries to gaslight us by saying that Biden recounting this fire or insisting his son Bo died in Iraq when he really died of cancer resonates with victims. Quote, Biden has long been seen as uniquely adept at leading with empathy amid tragedies like this one, end quote, the Washington Post claimed this week. Oh, if only the Washington Post was so fair with the support of former President Donald Trump. But this isn't empathy. This is ego. And it's insulting. A myth has been constructed around Joe Biden. He's the great negotiator. He's the empathizer-in-chief. He's Mr. Even Keeled. None of these things are true. They probably never were true. We could see it with our own eyes. Speaking for myself, I never heard of this supposed myth constructed about Joe Biden. Only truth I know is he's senile, corrupt, and perverted. Not to mention his family. End of. But I'll digress. And here's a couple of comments we'll briefly go over. The first being from military veteran. Remember the last time he spent any amount of time on the ground? Does El Paso come to mind? A short walk, even a shorter speech? Nothing to see here. Get me back on my plane so I can go back to my vacation spot. Biden doesn't like his job anymore. He thought it was going to be a cakewalk, sitting on a beach, visiting his donors, and checking his watch. Not to also mention too many pans in the fire. The stories of his son and his fire isn't working anymore. And from WW, a little table for His Excellency's glass of water. How cute and so tone deaf. Just plain insulting, not only to the Hawaiian victims, who will be drinking out of plastic bottles for the foreseeable future, as they lost everything else, including their drinking glasses, but to all Americans who make do with in a pinch what little we have. But wait, his handlers say, we have to protect the environment. Plastic bottles are so wrong and send the wrong message. We don't want to upset millionaire Greta Thunberg.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here.
Oh.
How dare you?
Yep. Well, folks, we've come to the end of this video. If you're not a fan of Joe Biden, then hit that like button. If you are a fan of Joe Biden, then smash that like button. And subscribe if you haven't already, so that you'll be forewarned whenever I'm about to drop another video. And as always, stay safe, and I bid you peace.
Look, they told me I can't talk about Brandon. I'm gonna get in trouble here talking about Brandon. But I want to talk about him. Let's go, Brandon. I never seen the guy. He's afraid of me. I'll tell you something, I want to take him out back behind the gym. I'll give him one of my 5-finger discounts. That's right. Let's go, Brandon. That's what it's got a different meaning now, doesn't it? Let's go, Brandon. I could probably do more push-ups than you and all your cousins.